Apple is about to do something they have literally never done before. And I'm not talking about the foldable. Everybody's already talking about that. I'm talking about something hiding inside the iPhone 18 Pro Max that is about to change how iPhone cameras fundamentally work. And there's a move Apple is making with this entire fall lineup that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Let's get into it. Here's your fall 2026 iPhone lineup. The iPhone 18 Pro at 6.3 inches, the Pro Max at 6.9 inches, and the first ever iPhone Fold. That's it. The base iPhone 18 and the iPhone 18e pushed to spring 2027. So if you want a new iPhone this fall, Apple has already made that decision for you. You're buying Pro. We'll come back to why that is not an accident, because what Apple is doing here is genuinely sneaky. The main rear 48-megapixel Fusion camera on both iPhone 18 Pro models is expected to feature variable aperture, a first for iPhone. Samsung tried this years ago. Apple is doing it differently and potentially better. What does it actually mean for your photos? Portrait shots where the background separation doesn't look like software guessing where your jacket ends and the wall begins. Night shots where every lamp isn't blowing out into a small sun. And actual physical control over the lens, not a slider in an app pretending to be depth of field. Here's the honest version though. Smartphone sensors are small, and physics doesn't care about your marketing material. The real question isn't whether variable aperture exists on this phone, it's whether it makes a visible difference in your everyday shots. We won't know that until September. Anyone telling you otherwise is guessing. The camera story doesn't stop at aperture. Samsung is reportedly working on a brand new 3-layer stacked image sensor, and it may be headed to the iPhone 18 Pro. Sony has been Apple's sole camera sensor supplier for years. If Samsung gets into that supply chain, it's not just a spec upgrade, it's a fundamental shift in who's building the eye of the iPhone. 3-layer stacking means better responsiveness, less noise, and wider dynamic range. But more than that, Apple just weaponized competition inside its own supply chain. That keeps both Samsung and Sony pushing harder to win the contract every single cycle. Apple possibly switching from Sony for their image sensor, that's not a spec sheet rumor, that's a supply chain earthquake. The iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max are expected to run Apple's A20 Pro chip, built on TSMC's first-generation 2-nanometer process. The current A19 Pro is on 3-nanometer, and 2-nanometer is a long-awaited step forward. Here's what that actually means if you don't work at a semiconductor fab. Smaller transistors means more of them fit on the same chip, which means more processing power using less electricity. Your phone runs faster, runs cooler, and your battery lasts longer, all at the same time. It's not magic, it's just physics finally working in your favor. And it's not just the main chip. The iPhone 18 Pro is also expected to feature Apple's next-gen N2 chip, handling Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread connectivity. The current N1 already made AirDrop and Personal Hotspot noticeably more reliable. The N2 pushes that further. Now, there's one feature almost nobody is taking seriously right now, and it might be the actual biggest story on this phone. The C2 modem, Apple's second-generation custom wireless chip, is coming to the iPhone 18 Pro, and the upgrade goes way beyond just better cell reception. Apple's C2 modem could add support for 5G satellite connectivity using a standard called NR-NTN, non-terrestrial networks. This allows direct phone-to-satellite connections and lets satellites act as backhaul to extend 5G coverage into areas where there is zero cell infrastructure. In plain English, full internet access, not just emergency SOS, not just iMessage, full internet over satellite when there's no cell signal. Third-party apps, Apple Maps, the Photos app, all of it working from a satellite connection. There is currently no service on Earth that delivers full 5G satellite internet directly to a consumer smartphone. If this ships and actually works, it's a bigger deal than the variable aperture camera, and almost nobody in tech media is treating it that way. The Pro Max reportedly crosses 5,000 milliamp hours on battery. Combined with the A20 Pro's efficiency gains and a more power-optimized modem, real-world battery life should be a meaningful jump, not just a spec sheet number. Let's be honest, the outside of this phone is familiar. Same general silhouette, same 3-lens camera plateau on the back, same screen sizes. If you're upgrading from a 17 Pro Max, someone genuinely might need to tell you which phone you're holding. But the front, that's where it gets interesting. Screen protector leaks confirm the dynamic island is getting smaller. The flood illuminator, part of Face ID, is moving under the display. The island shrinks from 20.76 millimeters on the 17 series down to 13.49 millimeters on the 18 Pro. That's a 35% reduction, visible at a glance. Not a full elimination. One Face ID component is still above screen for now, but the direction is clear. This is the hardware foundation Apple needs before they can go fully under display on Face ID entirely. On the back, the two-tone rear casing look is reportedly gone, replaced with a more seamless finish. The MagSafe area might get a subtle transparent treatment, and the signature color for this generation, deep red. Not product red, charity edition red, more of a premium burgundy. It's going to look good in every hands-on video, and Apple knows exactly what that does for launch week engagement. Apple is simplifying the camera control button on iPhone 18 models, and simplifying is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. The current camera control uses both capitative touch sensing and pressure sensing beneath a sapphire crystal surface. The swipe gestures, the zoom control, the exposure slider, all of that lives on the capitative layer. Apple is removing that layer entirely and keeping only pressure sensing. So, Apple is giving you variable aperture, a new manual camera mode, and simultaneously removing swipe gesture control from the button you'd use to control it. They giveth, they taketh, and they call it simplification. Okay, this is the part I mentioned at the top, the thing Apple is hoping you don't think too hard about. Fall 2026, Apple launches 3 phones, the iPhone 18 Pro, the iPhone 18 Pro Max, and the iPhone Fold, which is expected to start above $2,000. All 3, same window, same event. The moment Apple puts a $2,000 foldable on a table next to the iPhone 18 Pro Max, the Pro Max stops being expensive. It becomes the reasonable choice, the affordable option. Against a $2,000 foldable, a $1,200 Pro Max feels like a deal. That's anchoring. It's textbook pricing psychology. Apple didn't invent it, but they execute it better than anyone in consumer tech. I'm not saying the Pro Max isn't worth it. I think it might genuinely be one of the strongest upgrade cycles in years. I'm just saying Apple is very, very good at making you feel like you're getting a deal, even when the baseline starts at $1,200. Meanwhile, the cheaper iPhone 18 and 18e don't exist until spring 2027, which means customers who want to upgrade this fall have exactly one path: spend more. That's not a coincidence. That's a product calendar designed to protect average selling price. The iPhone 18 Pro Max doesn't look dramatic from the outside. Same silhouette, familiar form factor, but what's inside is a different story. Variable aperture changes what iPhone photography can actually do at a hardware level, if it delivers. The 2nm A20 Pro is a meaningful chip generation. The C2 modem with potential 5G satellite internet is the kind of connectivity leap that happens once in a decade. And the dynamic island shrink, seamless rear design, and deep red colorway make the whole package feel genuinely refreshed, even if the outline is familiar. If you're on iPhone 15 Pro or older, this is your upgrade. Don't overthink it. If you're on iPhone 16 Pro, solid jump, especially on camera and chip performance. If you're on iPhone 17 Pro Max, wait, unless that variable aperture camera turns out to be everything it sounds like on paper, in which case, okay, maybe. If you're eyeing the Fold instead, that's a completely different kind of decision and a completely different kind of money. Look into that separately before you commit. One last thing. Apple still isn't offering black on the Pro Max. Deep red, sure. Burgundy, fine. Black apparently still too edgy for Cupertino. Maybe next year.